Hey guys! What's up, Annalise here, and today I'm going to be telling you guys a story time about the time that I almost got my bus driver fired. Yeah, this is the time about the time that I got my bus driver fired. Let's just get right into the video. Okay, so actually this happened in these grades are first, second, and third grade. So we're gonna start at the first grade, obviously, because that's where it all happened. So first grade, I moved to a new school, and I didn't really know anybody there or anything, and we were kind of far away from the school. We were like far away. So every day in first grade, I would get on the bus, and my bus driver would be really super cranky, and I was like, okay, well, it's just a bus driver, like, he'll calm down. And at the time, I was only, like 6, so I didn't really know what was happening at the time. Then, and that year ended, it was fine. I mean, the bus driver was kind of rude, but, I mean, there was nothing that we could really do about it. It was just him in general. When I was in second grade, this is where things started getting more tougher. In the beginning of second grade, my bus driver, the same exact bus driver, while the bus was moving, he was letting kids walk. And he was letting people do it, and he thought that it was okay, and obviously it wasn't, because anything illegal is illegal, like, it's not okay. And the kids used to, like, rub it in our faces, like, hey, I get to, you know what I mean, walk while the bus is moving. I was like, yeah, that's cool, good for you. And they just kind of didn't really, like, acknowledge that nobody really cared. He basically just said stuff like, yeah, like, I don't know, he just started getting ruder. And he would let the kids count, which he was supposed to count when they got on, but he just made all the 5th graders kind of go around and count and everything. And at the time, I was only a second grader. I didn't really think of it until somebody, like, the news came on while I was at my house, and they said that, like, somebody got in, like, a car accident, like, kids flew to the front of the bus, and I was like, oh my god, my bus driver lets kids walk. Like, what if that happens to, like, kids? It was just horrible. But then in the middle of my second grade year, my mom started picking me up at a different, like, spot. So she used to pick me up in front of my bus stop. Now she started picking me up in the back of my bus stop. I used to walk behind my bus, and which I guess you're not supposed to do. I didn't really know at the time. I started walking behind the bus, and he was like, hey, like, don't do that ever again. I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna do it. And then accidentally one day I got too excited because I saw my mom had a Slurpee for me, and I was like, yes. So I accidentally walked behind the bus. He handed me a note, and he was like, here. And I, like, started reading, and I was like, what is this? And he's like, oh, well, this is for you walking behind my bus. And I read it, and it was like, suspension time 1 week. And I was like, boy. I was just like, oh, so can I write it today? And he's like, no. And he was, like, really rude about it, because, like, obviously he only gave me 1 warning, which is not fair, because I was only a second grader. This is after the time that I got suspended from the bus. I walked on the bus, and he was kind of rude to me and everything, and I was like, okay, whatever, bye. And so these kids were like, hey, like, the bus driver started to get ruder, like, meaner, like, we gotta tell. So we went to the principal, and we were like, hey, he's like, kids walk around, and he was, like, being really rude to us, and he's like, okay, well, we'll give him a warning. There's his warning. Then afterwards, when he got a warning, he knew that we told on him, so he started cussing at us, and we were like, no, that's not okay, like, don't cuss at us. So we took the same route, first, second grade year. We took the same route, and this is when the year was ending. We took this exact same route as we always did. Then, in the end of second grade, we started taking a different route, and none of the other buses took this route but us. And I was like, girl, we are not supposed to be taking this bus. Like, we know, like, no. But this is what pushed my buttons. It turned out that the wrong route that we were taking was actually on the way to his house. So after about a month of us taking that route, we actually ended up stopping at his house, and it was, like, on the way there. And we were like, because I had my sister with me at the time, and I was like, what? Tell me, why did we just stop at someone's house? And he's like, it's my house. I'm gonna go get some coffee and some chips, and I'll be right back. Literally 10 minutes later, he was back, and I was like, And they were like checking the clock and everything, like checking it. Yeah, it's like it's like 9 something, and school started at 8:45. We were late because of him. And so I got in trouble when I got home because I was late to school when it wasn't even my fault. But and I basically, after that, I just told my principal, and he's like, okay, well, that's not okay and everything. And he was like, yeah, we'll eventually get him fired. He actually ended up getting fired my 3rd grade year, so that's good. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and like, and peace.